So as we know, rescuing Ashley is Leon's main objective throughout Resident Evil 4. She was kidnapped by the Los Illuminados cult, and once Leon manages to pick her up, the rest of the game is spent trying to escape the Los Illuminados with their lives. Essentially, every time Ashley is around, the game turns into one big escort quest with the incredibly annoying and loud companion that is Ashley. While it may not be advisable to cut her out of the game entirely, Capcom should change the way Ashley comes across in the rumored remake. So in this video, I will be discussing some ways Capcom can improve her character, as well as how they could expand her role in the remake. Now before we start, if you do end up enjoying the video, then make sure to subscribe for more Resident Evil content. Also make sure to let me know your thoughts on Ashley in the comment section down below. With that all out the way, let's get right into the video. So one of Ashley's major problems are caused due to the outdated AI the game uses. With the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, Capcom has proved that it is possible to make some quality of life changes to make these 20-year-old experiences more accessible to the modern audience. In Resident Evil 3 remake specifically, we were introduced to the new swift dodge mechanic, which worked very well against the enemies. Although improving Ashley's AI in the Resident Evil 4 remake would significantly alter the gameplay, there are still many ways to refine the experience. One way Capcom could do this is by giving Ashley a small defensive object, like a pocket knife or a torch, similar to what we saw with Moria Burton in the Resident Evil Revelations 2 game. This could give a little room to defend herself while Leon makes his way towards her. Obviously, she isn't going to be a character to kill and fight, but a few fixes in her behavior could go a long way. Also, while Leon is fending off zombies, Ashley could go around and find things like ammo and health for Leon during combat. By giving Ashley some sort of agency in the overall gameplay, Capcom could turn Ashley into a beloved part of an already precious game. Ashley's playable sections are totally missed opportunities as well. In the current version of Resident Evil 4, you swap to Ashley, solve a few puzzles, fend off some enemies, and then return to playing as Leon. Though most people would rather have these chapters be eliminated entirely, it would be interesting to see them expand upon it in the remake. It could be a rather interesting change of pace after so many hours getting used to mowing down zombies to suddenly becoming underpowered and unable to fight back. The original had the same idea, only it became tedious and frustrating because there was no real threat. As a result, this would be a perfect time to re-implement the Hookman. If you don't know, this enemy was heavily featured in the scrapped version of Resident Evil 4, a ghostly, disturbing enemy that would haunt Leon around the Gothic castle during key sequences. Adding him in as a very real threat to Ashley would up the stakes of these sections, as well as acting as a nice nod to the game's history. Just picture it. Players are preparing themselves to go through the boring Ashley missions they hated in the original, only to lose their minds when this cherished piece of Resident Evil myth pops up to terrorize them. Resident Evil loves persistent enemies, and the Hookman could be a way to put one in Resident Evil 4. Alongside this, Ashley's section would be a perfect time to add a survival horror experience, specifically when she goes down in the dark storage room filled with the Plaga Knights. These Knights were so slow, so once you passed them, you were in the clear. So instead, they could scrap the Knights completely and add some sort of disturbing locked up creature that breaks free and aggressively chases you back to the entrance, while being on your tail the whole time. I know Capcom had a similar scrapped concept in Resident Evil 4, where in an underground area of the house, the Baker family kept a terrifying creature that needed a large feeding hatch. This would definitely make this section much more intense and scarier, which is exactly what the remake will need. So as we know, Ashley's screaming and shouting can get annoying really quick, so it might be in the interest of Resident Evil 4 Remake to make her act her age a little bit more, and give her a character that has more depth than simply someone who's in constant need of being rescued. Ashley is certainly a memorable part of Resident Evil 4, but she's not necessarily memorable for the best reasons. If the remake were to give Ashley a lot more depth and potentially tie her into the broader RE canon, she might leave an even bigger impact than she did in the original. And there you have it. That is just a few ways Capcom can improve Ashley in the Resident Evil 4 remake. So now I would like to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section below your ideas on how Capcom can improve Ashley. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.